Shawty really bad. Words of a faint, something like a bad. Well, I want your love, call me when you can. Girl, going up, going up.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be going over another Cliffhanger tournament that we did. This tournament was only 2 rounds. We only had 4 people join, but some people asked for me to upload the tournament results, so I decided to do this quick video. Actually ended up being a little longer than I thought it would be, just because the rounds did go to 3 games, but that's more content for y'all to see, right? So let's go ahead and get into those games. So in this first game, this first match, we go up against our opponent Prioxis, and we're going to be starting with Bayleaf with Golbat and Aggron in the back. We're starting with Bayleaf because he has decent matchups against the water types, okay matchup against Steelix, and even matchup versus Togekiss. So even though it seems like Togekiss as a flyer would have a better matchup, Togekiss is really just a charm user, so it's charm versus Razor Leaf just going at it. And it does resist the Razor Leafs, but it's still a decent amount of damage. So we end up catching Lantern in the lead with Bayleaf, and we get switch advantage here against the Steelix, but we don't have the greatest thing in the back for it, but we do want to get Bayleaf in the back out of there so that whenever Lantern comes back in, we'll have the Bayleaf for that Lantern. Since our Golbat and Aggron are weak against the Lantern, we want to make sure they stay hidden as long as possible. So we bring in the Aggron versus the Steelix. It's a pretty even matchup. We do use a shield here. They're basically both the same type of Pokemon, meaning that they're both just tanks with steel, and Aggron has a rock type and Steelix has a ground typing there. So we use a shield to win that matchup. I assume Lantern's going to come back in, and we swap back into Bayleaf, and this was the big mistake in this match. We should have just let Aggron go down to the farm of Lantern and then bring Bayleaf in when Aggron faints. That way we would have maintained switch advantage, but now we lose switch advantage, and this Tropius is just going to farm us down. We are going to take shield just because of the ancient power would have done super effective damage. And I think we're going to bring in, we can bring in either of these. Looks like we bring in Aggron just to eat the Leaf Blade that the Tropius farmed up, so that we have a full life Golbat going in against a lower energy Tropius. And we think an Aerial Ace is coming out, so we shield there, and we want to farm as much energy as we can going into the Lantern matchup, because we know Lantern's really close to a charge attack, and we want to try to one-shot it with a Shadow Ball. So we need to make sure we have enough for a Shadow Ball and a Poison Fang, which we do. So we take out Tropius and we throw out the Shadow Ball instantly. But Lantern is a very bulky Pokemon, and it does survive this. And we try to take out Lantern, but he ends up staying alive there and taking us out. So that swap into Bayleaf was the big mistake of that match. I think if we don't do that swap, we end up being fine in there. So I end up taking out Golbat and bringing in Mantine, because I think that he's going to bring in Lantern. And while Lantern is good against Mantine, Mantine is better against Lantern than Golbat was. And we decide we only need one Pokemon that's good against the Tropius. And we didn't have a counter for the Steelix matchup, so we lost a little bit of coverage and gained a little bit more in hopes of catching Steelix, and we actually do. And we just do a lot of farming here, and a really good swap by him. We end up wasting this Ice Beam on the Lantern. So we want to do a little bit of farm because we're going to bring in Bayleaf, and Bayleaf can take the Thunderbolt anyways, so no need to fear about Lantern getting that extra farm. So like I said, we eat that Thunderbolt, and then we just Razor Leaf the Lantern down. So at this point, if he has Tropius, he's probably going to bring it in, and he does. And we throw out this Ancient Power, and he's probably just going to farm us down just like Game 1. Not wanting to use any charge attacks and keeping that energy high for the next matchup. We do have Aggron in the back, so this is really good for us. He's going to take resisted damage from both of Tropius's attacks of Aerial Ace and Leaf Blade, and he's going to be doing super effective damage with the Smackdowns versus the flying type of Tropius. So he swaps into Steelix, we swap back into Mantine right away, really good swap for us. And while both of our charge attacks are not going to be doing the greatest against Steelix, the Ice Beam is going to be doing much better than the Aerial Ace, or more damage per energy. So we end up taking both of the shields here, which is good, and we still have one in the back, and we're just trying to auto this Steelix down, and we decide, we're really close to a charge attack, and we're really close to just fainting him with auto attacks, and we get really greedy for the auto attack feint, and then we would throw in an Aerial Ace or an Ice Beam at Tropius, but he does get us with the back-to-back crunches. Really good play by him. And we do have the Aggron in the back though, so Tropius is going to go down to him. So last game here, we're going to swap it up again. In this match, we changed our Pokemon a lot, but if you notice, the one constant is Bayleaf. Bayleaf has the best matches against this person's team. We really don't think he's going to bring in Forretress versus the team that we had. But if he had started with a Forretress, we'd be in trouble here. And he starts with Togekiss, so he wants to even first matchup. So we're just going to get a bunch of energy on our Bayleaf and then swap out into our Togekiss and just sort of bring the health bars down at the exact same clip for both, which gives us the advantage because we already had taken him down about, 30% probably when we swapped in. We're going to go for the Ancient Power every time against Lantern, and we actually get the boost, which gives us the advantage in that matchup. So super lucky by us, and we take out the Lantern because of that, and he brings in the Steelix, and since we have the boost, we're not really going down too fast against the Dragon Tails, which we resist anyways, being a Fairy type. And we end up going down to the Steelix, but we do take a shield, and we bring back in Mantine we bring in Mantine for the first time, I guess, and we just are going to farm it down. We're not too afraid of the crunches or the earthquakes. They're not going to do too much to us. He does get a double one off, and we are getting a little lower, and we do have two shields, so I decide to just use one here, because I know if we go into the matchup against Togekiss, I can just throw out a charge move with Mantine and be perfectly okay. Although he does have a shield left, because we did use both there. But we're going to be able to take it, and we have two Pokemon in the back that do heavy auto attack damage. So, oh no, we just had one Pokemon in the back, sorry. So we go into round 2 here, which is actually the last round, since there was only 4 people in this tournament against Rhea. And Rhea has a really unique, awesome team of all water types, so that's really cool. But the first thought we have is Bayleaf is going to be our bread and butter here, so we're going to just start Bayleaf every time. Bayleaf is not the greatest against Slowbro because of the Confusion user, and Lapras and Mantine are pretty good too, just because of the Ice typing and then the Flying typing. So really, Lapras and Mantine is what we're most scared about getting our Bayleaf caught into. And because of that, we have Marshtomp and Aggron in the back, since they are both good against... Aggron's good against Mantine, and good against Lapras, and then Marshtomp is also good against Mantine. So we're able to take out that Lapras with the Aggron. He does take the Aggron out, and then our Bayleaf just does one more Razor Leaf to finish him off. And then I swap into Marshtomp here. That may have been a mistake, but I did think that it was going to be fine either way, because Bayleaf is good against Lantern and Swampert. I just knew that Bayleaf does double damage against the Swampert, or triple damage, I guess, because of the water and ground typing both being weak against grass type. But we're also fine with the basically mirror match here of Marshtomp versus Swampert, and we got off 2 Surfs, which took out both shields and brought him down a little bit. And then we get this Mud Bomb off right before we get KO'd to take out the Swampert. And then Lantern's just going to take us out with 1 Water Gun. But we have Bayleaf in the back, and we have a shield. This Thunderbolt, I don't think would finish us off, but it would be really close. But we have the shield, so we shield. And we take game 1. Game 2, I don't change anything up because I think that this is my optimal setup with Bayleaf in the lead, just so that I can swap it out if I'm in a bad matchup. So he does start Lapras, and we're going to get a couple Razor Leafs off, and then I think we're going to swap out. No, it looks like we just stay in. So it looks like Bayleaf actually pretty good against Lapras. We're going to be shielding anything he does so that we do preserve Bayleaf as long as possible. And he does swap out into Mantine, so we throw out the Ancient Power since it's going to be super effective. And maybe we'll get the boost. We don't. And then we throw in Aggron, since he does super effective damage against Mantine with the Rock-type move Smackdown. And he takes out Mantine. And then he brings in Azumarill, his 9-point pick. Azumarill going to be really good against our team. And he's just going to farm down Aggron, it looks like. And Aggron does take a long time to get to those moves. We do get to a Heavy Slam. And we throw it out and he shields it. So he's obviously just storing a ton of energy. He's probably got 2 Ice Beams worth of energy. So I decided to throw out Marsh Stomp. So the reason I throw out Marsh Stomp here is just to eat all of the Ice Beams and try to do some chip damage, since Azumarill is so low anyways at this point. And I didn't want to bring Bayleaf in against 2 Ice Beams because 1 Ice Beam is going to take him out. So I'm pretty much sacrificing Marsh Stomp for the good of the team so that Bayleaf can have a better finish against this Lapras. And yeah, Bayleaf takes out the Lapras. We both have a shield remaining. And that's kind of what Razor Leaf does, you know. You're not going to be taking a lot of the shields because it's all auto attack damage or fast attack damage. So those were our 2 Cliffhanger, or well, this was our last Cliffhanger tournament. And, well, I guess we do have one more still going. It's in the last round. I don't know if I'll put a video out on that one. We're currently 2-1, but we're so close to the end of the Cliffhanger season, you know. I'm not sure if anyone actually wants to see any more Cliffhanger with Sinister one day away. Yeah. Those are the Cliffhanger games, though. If you want to catch the other one, go ahead and look at it. If you do want me to upload when that tournament finishes, maybe I can do that, but I really don't think I will. I'm not sure how much interest there actually is. And yeah, we're just prepping for Sinister Cup, and if you want to view the practices that we've been doing for Sinister Cup, go ahead and subscribe. You'll catch those tournaments are going to be coming up soon, guys, so be ready. With all the extra changes that have happened recently in PvP, it's going to be absolutely nuts. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.